In order to forgive everyone in your life, the only person that you really need to forgive is yourself. Because you see, we chose these other relationships in our lives. We did, us. Let's take responsibility so that we can also take the responsibility to heal. Because us holding a grudge on someone else, that only hurts us, that doesn't hurt them. And us holding a grudge on someone else also doesn't take into account the fact that us or our higher selves on some level chose to have that experience to help us awaken to our consciousness, to help us on our life journey, to then teach those lessons to other people, to integrate them in our own lives, to use them to benefit the whole. So forgive yourself for those mistakes that really led you to the right place. Love yourself, and once you love yourself, you can love other people. Don't judge yourself. Release judgment of yourself, and when you do that, you won't judge other people. Everything starts first from within, from us, and from our higher self. And if you want help tapping into your highest self, into higher dimensions, you can join me for plant medicine retreats, yoga and plant medicine. Very good combination here out in nature in the Amazon tropics with so much sun and juicy, hydrating, living foods. Get on the beach. Get that booty in the sun. Get the boobs free. Free the nipple, you know? So if you want to have some freedom, definitely check the links below, whether you want to meet me in person or do online coaching or join the membership community, Wealthy Warriors, or join the program for regenerating yourself, or come to our retreats on the beach so that we can get super duper duper beautiful, happy, healthy on all levels, healthy, wealthy, as a spiritual badass, because you can have both. And those that are spiritual, those that are going to use their money for the highest good of all, they deserve to attract as much as they can, because money is only energy. And if we can have more attention on us, that's where the energy is going to flow, where our attention goes. So let's get some attention on us to get some money to flow to us, and then use that money to help not only yourself, which is a huge part of it, because if we're healthy ourselves, then we can then do our mission in life. When we're healthy ourselves, our highest self is going to be healthier. Our highest self and the source oneness of all split itself into many different consciousnesses like ourselves, so that we only have to focus on our own healing for the greater whole to be whole and complete and healthy. But if we don't do the work on just ourselves, if we focus all of our attention on trying to heal other people, we don't have control over other people. But what we do have control over is ourselves. So why don't we just start with us? Why don't we work on healing ourselves before we heal the whole collective? And why don't we realize that if we just heal ourselves, the whole collective is healed? So if you're ready to take that leap to heal yourself, check the links below. One-on-one coaching or in-person retreats. I'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you. Subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. When we sing, we can channel higher frequencies from higher dimensions. There's other dimensions that we may not see, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. We may not understand that we are taking part in many other dimensions right now. What is happening, even without our awareness? Think of how our heart beats. We don't have to think about our heart beating, but it's still keeping us alive. Just as the other versions of ourselves, the other dimensions that we don't see, unless maybe on plant medicine, those dimensions are affecting us here and now. Think of a slinky. Think of how one vibration of the slinky, one move of the slinky, moves the next part that the slinky is connected to. In the same way, one move, one vibration influences us on all planes of existence, on all dimensions. You're going to feel that vibration and have a reaction from it that affects you positively or negatively. In order to create positive vibrations, it starts with our lives here and now. When we experiment with plant medicines, when we try weed or mushrooms or San Pedro or ayahuasca, it's not about always living in that other dimension, that other timeline, that other time reality. In order to jump into a new timeline, it's not about jumping into that new timeline of different plant medicine that puts you in a different state of consciousness or a different dimension for a time period. It's about integrating those lessons from those higher dimensions into our 3D dimension, without the need of those plant medicines, because they are just teachers. They're just tools that allow you to access your highest self. Just as living in the tropical environment or eating a fruit diet can train my body to be in a state of peace and release and higher energies of the fruit and higher energies of the vibrations of the animals here in the tropics. But when I go to a colder climate, I still carry that within. I've gotten my lessons. And when we go to these other dimensions and we learn a lot very quickly, say, even when you're smoking and you're maybe realizing, like smoking for weed or even tobacco, if it really teaches you, say, to relax and take deep breaths. Well, you don't need to have tobacco to relax and take deep breaths. You can go outside, relax, take deep breaths, know that you deserve it, know that you love yourself and the whole and enough in order to allow yourself to relax. And when we take weed, maybe you're noticing your subconscious thoughts, or you take mushrooms and you notice the beauty around you and the sacred geometry, or any other plant medicine you're taking. You don't need to be on that medicine to now see those things in our 3D reality. And if we can start to integrate those lessons that I just learned, say I go on mushrooms, I take a large dose, and I learn enough that puts me ahead my timeline on Earth, probably like 10 years of lessons that I wouldn't have learned, if not like 50 to 100 years of lessons I wouldn't have learned. Thousands of years, honestly. So many lessons that I wouldn't have learned if I didn't take the plant medicine. But even if you're just getting high, taking some weed that's local without any of the toxic paper around it, but rolling it with natural things here in the Amazon, Bali, Thailand, Costa Rica, Peru, that's where I've been hanging. You can come hang with me, by the way. I do sacred medicine ceremonies, yoga, retreats. So I'm very happy to meet you and help you explore your inner world, our outer world, together to create whole, peace, harmony, sacred sanctuary here on our earth, with balance within and balance around us, with balance with the animals, with balance with ourselves, with including the animals and including ourselves on this beautiful earth in harmony with the sacred patterns, the sacred light, the sacred forces of our earth, of ourselves, of our highest self. Now, when you take even weed from a local place and you use it sacredly and with intention, or even cacao, like simple things like that, but especially say you're taking weed and it slows down your time, you learn some lessons that maybe put you just a couple years ahead of knowledge. Well, you integrate those lessons now without the weed, and you've already jumped timelines. You've now sped up your life 10 years or thousands of years, depending what kind of medicine you're taking, of your timeline of what you're learning. So once you integrate those lessons here on Earth, which does not involve taking them unless you're maybe just microdosing for a bit, of course I have protocols for that. Well, once you can fully integrate that in the 3D, you're no longer stuck in this 3D. You are a higher dimensional being existing in the 3D plane who can help others rise their consciousness on the 3D until this 3D world is the highest consciousness place to live. As well, if you're, say, on plant medicine, or someone around you is on plant medicine, or at least has integrated the lessons of plant medicine, or the lessons of their Kundalini awakening, or the lessons of their yoga, their diet, their fitness, whatever lessons that they have, but especially when they've taken these plant medicines and went to higher dimensions of reality, well, now that means that there's higher dimensional beings all around us that have a totally different perspective than us, that we don't see. Maybe that they can see the sacred geometry around them, or that they know all these lessons of their past lives and the different timelines that are occurring, but they're still here in this 3D reality, even though they are well expanded in their consciousness and aware of other realms. And even someone that maybe didn't quite integrate the lessons yet, but they're taking mushrooms and they're walking around, their energy is going to influence so many people to be like, wow, they dance so freely. They are shaking without shame. They are fully expressing themselves with their body, releasing emotions, releasing stagnant energy. And I want to dance like them, so I'm going to go get to know them. And then we introduce them to the sacred medicines of the earth, of themselves, the things that are put here for us to thrive. When we are in harmony with the earth, we can be in harmony with ourselves. And once you see those higher dimensional beings on earth and start to recognize them, if you recognize that higher energy in someone, it's because it's ready to be activated within you. So I encourage you, like, if you see any light in me, if you see any light in someone else around you, like, ask them what their interests are. Maybe it has to do with plant medicine or a passion that they're into, and then just understand, like, that light that you see in them is just, it's within you, it's ready to be activated. Do you want to activate your Kundalini? We got links below. Do you want to come and do sacred medicine with us in the Amazon, on the beach, in the tropics? Then check my links below, or get coaching, one-on-one support, spiritual coaching, business coaching, wealth. Girl, we can have it all. boy, we can have it all. So if you're ready to have it all, it's only up to you to choose it. No one else. Okay? Love you.